Hello and welcome back to Middle-Aged Moto. I'm out for a beautiful ride this morning. As you probably can see from the blinky light and lack of fuel gauge that my fuel sending unit or whatever's wrong with it has decided to rear its ugly head once again. Obviously I've not gotten my bike in yet for the little list of things that need to be fixed on it, but today I wanted I had a friend of mine ask me a question. He said, you know, I know you love your Ducati, but you've got all these little bugs and all these little issues that are rearing their head. Your warranty's about to expire. You know, is this just the start of something worse? You know, he owns a Yamaha MT-10. He had an MT-09 for years, and now he's switched to an MT-10. And to be honest with you, he kind of misses the MT-09 because with the exhaust and all that modified, he said it was bike was more fun. But with that said, he's had zero issues. Yamaha, I believe, is still rated as, you know, the most reliable bike. Ducati's like down on 30 on the list or something like that. But you know, he did make me think at first, and I'm like, wow, you know, it's definitely, it's more of an annoyance because obviously the bike's running and running good. And you know, any of you that have watched my previous videos saw that, you know, I was having a intermittent throttle cut. You know, when I would give it gas, it would cut out for a split second and then come back on. Kind of, you know, I'm not going to get into everything, but kind of like when you use a quick shifter, it cuts spark to the engine or gives you that split second, but it kind of catches you off guard when you gun it or you're shifting, and it's random. It's not in any specific gear. But that hasn't happened in the last 2 rides. But fuel gauge has reared its head again. It's kind of weird that when the fuel gauge light is on, I don't have that problem, so I'm not really sure if they're a related issue. So just to recap what I've got going on right now, and then kind of give you my synopsis on what my plans are moving forward. I've got a recall. I call it a recall, they call it a check, call it what you will, it's all semantics, on the rear brake line. My rear brakes work, you know, better on this bike than any bike that I've ever owned. You know, I've had a lot of bikes that the rear brake was pretty much, you know, there in name only. It really didn't make a difference, other than the fact that it squeaks real loud half the damn time, and you know, people look at you and you're on a premium bike and it's making you know, 1972 Kawasaki sounds. But I could deal with that. That's not a major deal for me. But so I've got the brake line, I've got the intermittent fuel gauge, I've got the intermittent power cut, and I'm going to do my annual service early. I do a service every year. I'm prepaid. I think I said that, I did say that in a previous video. So it saves me in the long run a bunch of money. So I'm going to go ahead and do that service. That service, I think it's $450, $500 for everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and just knock that out. It's a couple months early. I think it's due in January, but my warranty is out in January sometime also. I bought the bike. I'll have had the bike for 2 years. This is an 18 that I bought in 19, January of 19, as a leftover to save a considerable amount of money when I purchased it. So back to the original statement. My buddy's saying, hey, you know, why don't you just get you an MT-10 and just be done with all these little issues? Because I talked a lot of crap for the first year because I didn't have anything wrong. Nothing. Everything kind of piled up in the last 6 months. It just started happening. And I ride the bike, you know, at least once a week unless the weather's bad. Last week I was on vacation, so I didn't ride. So I'm trying to get more consistent with videos, and you know, just keep piling the content on. I got another subscriber thinking about buying a Ducati, so welcome aboard. And then my boy always comments, I'm glad to hear you're liking your MT10. But back to the original statement. I basically told my buddy, hell no. You know, when I bought a Ducati, I knew what I was getting into. I just felt like I was lucky, to be honest with you, the first year. That's just what you get. You know, I don't know why. I mean, it's a premium bike. You know, you're paying a premium price. And I keep saying that. I don't want to come across as being, you know, arrogant, but that's not it. I just paid a lot of money for this bike, you know, in comparison to other bikes. Like an MT10's like $12,900. This sticker's for $17,900. You know, if you go back to one of my other videos, you know, I talked why I bought the bike, or why, you know, the value to me is, do I see a perceived value increase by spending the extra money? And yeah, I mean, with the suspension and the brakes and the character and all that kind of stuff, it's well worth it. My goal, and still my goal, and I'm still undecided, unfortunately, and you're along for this long-ass journey. I want to get another bike. I definitely do. And I'm going to get something. I'm undecided. I'm really undecided. I really wanted a dual sport for the longest, and then I've been considering how long am I going to be off road. So I might get something that is more of a, you know, like an African twin, or maybe even, you know, I'm drawing a total blank here. The Yamaha, it's a 900 Tracer 900. There we go. Old mine's starting to kick in this morning. You know, maybe a Tracer 900, something that I can ride that's still fun, sporty. I was thinking about an MT09 after my boy got one, and you know, putting that as a second bike. But to be honest with you, it's too similar to this. It's similar riding style, so it's just too close. I want something that's a little bit more upright, a little bit more comfortable. But with that said, no, I'm not going to get rid of this bike. I'm planning on holding on to this bike for a long time. Unfortunately, you know, it's probably going to need to be ridden less. You know, I've got just shy of 9,000 miles on it, and the first, you know, year I had zero issues. Year and a half I had zero issues. So they've all been rearing their ugly head. Nothing is major. It's all annoyance. It's kind of like, you know, not that I can afford or ever own, but you know, Ferrari owners and Lamborghini owners and you know, the high-end McLarens and all these people that buy these high-end cars. It's quirky stuff. I mean, these are $500,000 cars in some cases, and they're endless quirky stuff that happens to them. I've got friends in back home in Florida, because, you know, the business I was in, I've mingled with a lot of those guys. They all own these high-end cars, and they have endless problems with them. So that's just what you get. You know, it's what you get. Call me stupid, call me crazy, but I will buy probably something, a Honda or a Yamaha, something reliable. Hey, they break too. They're all made by man. But for the most part, I think I'll be getting a more reliable bike. You know, I don't want to even jinx myself, but this bike's never left me hanging. You know, it's always kept up and running. It always starts and it always goes. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of my ride. I'm debating on putting some footage in from the ride this morning, or the early part of this ride. They paved a section of the road of my twisties, fresh pavement. Now I still have fresh tires on this. I've probably got, I don't know, only 200 miles on them. So I really, you know, in sections where I could really not lean a lot, I got on it a lot. And I'm debating, I just don't want to throw that out there, because it's kind of a, it might even be classified as reckless, but there was no one on the road. It's a windy road. If I saw a person or a car, I slowed down. So if that footage is right after this, I got the guts to throw it up there, but I don't really want to incriminate myself, but we may do it anyways. So if I didn't do it, call me a wuss in the comments, but it was a lot of fun. I'm going to check out the footage and see exactly what we're looking at, as far as, because it always looks like you're going slower than you are, but you know, the gauge was triple digits, which is good. And I'm not trying to impress anyone. It was just a total blast. It brought out the youth in me, and every once in a while I do that, but I don't post it. You know, I basically wait till I'm putting myself at risk, or only myself, I'm not going to do it around neighborhoods or cars. This cut through, there's zero homes, there's zero anything on. It's a cut through to that toll booth that you've probably seen in other videos. So it's kind of just a cut through from Montgomery, Alabama to Wetumpka. So I just talked about a cut through for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and say peace out, everybody, and welcome to any of the new subscribers. I hope this content is bringing a smile to your face every once in a while. Maybe learning something. For any of you out there that are thinking about getting a Monster or a Ducati, just pull the trigger. Just know what you're getting into. You may get one that's fantastic. I'm not saying it's not fantastic. So far, it's still worth it. You know, I will be without the bike for about a week, but oh well. With that, if you heard something you like and you want to join this journey and see how this channel grows, give me a like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you and have a wonderful day.